Cool, bro. Well, thanks for doing this, man. We're hoping that this will be a blessing to people who follow Jesus, bro, and the world, bro, and the hood, because we've already gotten a lot of people being like, come up in the streets and stuff who are tapping into this, and it's cool because a lot of people have questions and hurt and misconceptions and all these different things around the church, prison, gangs, the brokenness of this world and systems, and so. I think one of the ways to add context to these conversations is listening to people who have been in it, gone through it, who are going into it to be a blessing in these demographics and areas. So, yeah, bro, wherever you want to start. If you want to start with your story, if you want to start with just talking, whatever you feeling.
I mean, I guess I'll tell a little bit of a short version of the story, just so I guess whoever's listening can kind of understand, me and why I have some of the perspectives that I have. Okay. You know what I'm saying? So my story is a lot different than a lot of the homies that I grew up with or the people around me in terms of like, I was actually raised in the church. I was, so my mom and pops was partying and doing they, drug abuse thing or whatever, until I was like one. And I think having me, and especially when it came to my pops, like I think having me and then starting even early to see like the effects that their lifestyle was having on me as a child and just the situations it was putting me in, I think that it caused him to kind of start second guessing his choices, and not that it immediately turned him to God, but I think it just opened him up to just the idea of, man, that I need to do something else. You know what I'm saying? If this kid's gonna have a future type of thing, I can only assume. And so, I know, he got invited to church by one of his friends, and him and my mom's ended up giving their life to Christ and having a radical encounter with God. Both of them sobered up, you know what I'm saying, and never went back. And I mean, I know they was doing drugs for many, many years, you know what I'm saying? So that, praise the Lord for that. And that's one of the reasons why when people always ask me, like, when did I get saved? I always say, man, I was born into a process of salvation, bro. Like, there's been times when it's been revealed to me what was going on. And when Christ was kind of like revealed to me, I had a moment of like recognizing him for who he is. But in terms of the work in my life and his hand and his grace and his mercy and him moving things, you know what I'm saying, to kind of protect me, you know what I'm saying, and guide me and set the stage, for his greater glory, later. Man, and I think anybody who's in Christ, if they really look back, would all say that, that you could see his fingerprints on your life. You know what I'm saying? All throughout. Now, whether we listen to it or not, or, whatever the case may be, that's on us. But he was always there moving, you know what I'm saying? And so my mom and pops was not together. They was not married. And so, after getting born again, they ended up getting married. And so, I was the firstborn of three. But me I was kind of like born in iniquity in a sense, as opposed to my brother and, my little brother and sister. But I think from that experience and that radical encounter, and then I think because of the church culture that they, grew, kind of came up in the faith, they were like stupid religious and legalistic, as a child. So Christianity wasn't really, to me, very young. It wasn't so much of a relationship as much as it was kind of like this unappeasable system of rules and regulations, like a standard that it was just impossible for me to ever, kind of live up to. And I just remember as a kid, and to this day, man, I still sit and pray, and I'm still going through certain exercises to try to figure out kind of like where some of the things that I deal with, where they really come from. You know what I'm saying? Because I can see certain things that I might blame something on, but then it's kind of like, yeah, but I remember I was already tripping. Like I can't blame the streets for everything, because it didn't teach me everything. It just kind of helped hone. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you know,
It sharpened it
there
up
was stuff that was already there, bro. There was a pain and a feeling of abandonment and all of this stuff, bro, that was already there, you know? So I don't really know, bro, where the darkness in me, you know, other than the theological kind of like, oh, you know, we're depraved and, you know, stuff like that. But what I mean by that is I know where my sin nature came from, but I'm talking about like the deep depression, you know, the hurt, the feeling of worthlessness, you know what I'm saying, and stuff that I struggle with so bad as a child. You know, like to this day, I don't really know, you know, myself and my little brother and a bunch of other kids were victims of like sexual abuse in the church when I was like super young, like probably like, I don't know, maybe 5, 6 years old or something. I don't remember it, but we know it happened, but I don't have any details. Sure. You know what I'm saying? I guess sometimes when you go through trauma, you block things out or whatever. So I don't know if maybe from those experiences or, you know, maybe the way my pops and my moms used to interact with me as a kid, if that had something to do with it. But I just remember as a kid, bro, being so hurting and so desperate, bro, for love, man, and acceptance. You know what I'm saying? And always feeling like I wasn't good enough. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know why. But I know that it messed me up. You know, it really became like when the focal point, bro, of your life is achieving love, that's dangerous. You know what I'm saying? Because anybody can use you. You know, anybody can use you. You're not walking around really with your eyes open. You know what I'm saying? And predators and just people who kind of like are looking for somebody to kind of, you know, use as a scapegoat or whatever the case may be. They look for that. They look for that, you know, insecurity in people and exploit it, you know. And so as a child, you know, I was always easy to exploit in that sense. Like I was the friend who would do whatever for you. You know what I'm saying? I'd give you my last. I'd throw my life away. If you know what I'm saying? I didn't care. All I cared about at the end of the day is if you thought that I loved you. Didn't matter whether you loved me or not, really. It was what you felt about me type of thing. You know what I'm saying? And I got bullied a lot, you know, as a very young child, being raised in the 80s, black daddy, white mama, racism. I experienced a lot of that. You know what I'm saying? White boys call you nigger, black kids call you white boy. You know what I'm saying? And you just trying to find your place. And we moved around constantly, so I never had any deep social roots. You know what I'm saying? To this day, I don't have a childhood friend. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, we moving and not just moving houses, I'm talking about states and you know what I'm saying, from this city to this city, or you know what I'm saying, whatever. And even all through my younger years, I went to several schools and several different high schools all over the town and stuff, so just never really, you know, having a home.
That has mental effects on you too.
Yeah, man. And so I ended up, I was born in the Bay. We moved, my pops, I remember the tech industry kind of had like a big recession kind of crash in the late 80s, right? And my pops worked in that field. And so when all of that hit, we ended up having to move out of state for a little while so he could find, you know what I'm saying, some work to provide for the fam. And it landed us in New Mexico, and I moved to Albuquerque, New Mexico. And that's honestly the first time, because like back then in the Bay, there wasn't no gangs like that. I mean, it was turned up, you know, the crack era and all of that. But as far as gang culture and stuff, it wasn't in the Bay Area back then at that time. You know what I'm saying? But like, I remember moving to Albuquerque, New Mexico, it was cracking. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, still is to this day, unfortunately. And so I just got introduced to kind of like that whole thing, but I was an outsider to it, you know. I was a square little church boy, you feel me? I didn't know nothing. I mean, it looked cool because and especially at that age, you're not dealing with many consequences from it. You know what I'm saying? And so it's just like, these kids, they all got each other's back, and whoop whoop, and it's like, so I kind of got bit by the bug, but still, most of them were Hispanic, and so it was just kind of like, obviously, I might look that, but I'm not. You know what I'm saying? And so, I was just, I tried playing football as a kid, and I was real good at it. For as good as any little kid could be, and so like, being on a team, that was okay, dope. But then we moved, so now that's a wrap. You know what I'm saying? So then we moved from Albuquerque to Sacramento, and that's when it got real. As far as like, it was nothing but gang activity outside, everywhere you went. You know what I'm saying? It didn't matter. That's one thing about California is kind of, I've traveled and seen a lot of different places, and I don't take nothing from nobody's city, but California's got this strange kind of dynamic between the ghetto and the hood. Like, you be in a nice neighborhood, but that's somebody's neighborhood. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And you could get your head tore off cutting your grass, you know what I'm saying? It being out of bounds and not even knowing, like, you out here thinking it's something different, but they pressing a line out here, And so when I moved to California, it was a trip, because it's just like, man, when I moved back to California, and now I'm going outside. I'm no longer in Christian schools. Now I'm in the public school system.
How old were you at that time?
At that time, I was like 11 or 12.
Okay.
I think I was 12. So I go from being this young kid who's in a strictly Christian environment. Now, my home life had its own issues. My mom and pop's marriage would have their strains, and I know my mom was dealing with a lot of emotional problems and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And this is back then, bro, this is before everyone was empathetic to all of this new, right. these things like depression and anxiety and all of that stuff. Like, back then, you was just crazy. Shut up, go sit down and chill out. You know what I'm saying? And so, things like postpartum depression and all that stuff. Like, a lot of mothers, like, they didn't even know what they was going through. So in dealing with that, they might have, been abusive towards their children in some way, shape, or form, or even a lot of fathers dealing with PTSD and stuff from their life experiences, like not knowing these things, and you just reacting, not realizing that what you doing to this little kid. You feel what I'm saying? And so I know for me, just all of these different changes and experiences and tragedies going on around me, losing friends and people dying, and I'm starting to experience like loss, but there's no real explanation behind it, and then I'm hearing all the cliche church sayings.
Sure. Yeah.
And it's not doing it for me, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Because life's getting real now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's not being explained to me in any practical way. Like, I feel like if there is one thing that the church is really failing at right now, it's practically explaining like the gospel to like the streets, bro. Yeah. And people who come from the urban culture. Yeah. And I think that it's a lot of it has to do with, in my opinion, there's a lack of love for people who are going to cost you something to love them. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you see a lot of like effort being made to reach groups of people who are going to be of benefit to you. But the people who are going to cost you the most, you know what I'm saying? You don't really see, like, and I'll give you a prime example, the youth. Like, bro, the youth ain't got nothing for you for a long time. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to have to pour into these kids for, a decade, sometimes two, before you even start to see, before they even in a position to start giving back in that regard. You know what I'm saying? So, I feel like for me growing up I was in a religious home, but like I said, because it wasn't so much relational, man, it was so hard, bro. And I was just so angry and so depressed and so broken. And then I had a friend when I was in Albuquerque, he murdered himself. And I remember after that, it planted a seed in me. Like, oh, that's an option. Because I didn't even know about suicide like that. You know what I'm saying? And so then it was like, oh, okay. I didn't even know like that was a thing. Like, you can do that? You know what I'm saying? Like, well, it makes sense. I mean, shoot, his life sucked, you know, and now he ain't suffering no more. So I started kind of like playing with that in my mind a lot as a kid. Like, and then talking myself out of it, and then kind of like meditating on it, and you know, but I could tell it was this demon, you know what I'm saying, or just this demonic kind of energy and influence, bro, that once I started entertaining that, it just started spiraling. And I remember, bro, like even talking to my parents, even at times, like, I need some help, like something's wrong with me, you know, because the stuff I'm thinking as a kid ain't cool. You know, I started like killing animals and torturing them and skinning them and hanging them to the walls, like crazy stuff, bro. Like at a certain point in my life, bro, like I literally wanted to be a serial killer. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like I said, I'm like 11 thinking like this, 12 years old. Like, man, I want to kill people. But I think it's just, I was so hurt. And I felt like that was power. You know what I'm saying? And I just felt so powerless in my life. You know, and so it was just like, man, what can I do to make people feel the way they making me feel? You know, to maybe make people fearful. And so, you know, as a young kid, and in being influenced by guys and being in relationship with guys who are a little older than me, who are actually participating in these things, you know, it was like, oh, okay. So, you know, I started dabbling in stuff, you know what I'm saying, too. You feel me? And I think that for me, the gang thing, like, it was never about, for me, you know, it wasn't about gang banging, and in the sense of like, I didn't have a problem. I'm not even from this city. Like, I don't got a problem with these dudes. Like, you know what I'm saying? I mean, everywhere you go, somebody's hitting you up. So it's not personal. It's like, bro, that's just how everybody's living. You know, everybody got a chip on their shoulder. Everybody, you know what I'm saying? Whoop, whoop, whoop. So, and everybody's trying to make a name for themselves. So it's not like the guys over here are tripping any less or more than the dudes over here in a lot of cases. I think for me, it was what ended up happening was I lived in a Crip neighborhood, but I went to school in a blood neighborhood, right? Yeah. And the relationships that I made in that community, you know what I'm saying? I went to school in Oak Park, right? And so at Sac High. And so the relationships that I made, it just felt like love to me, man. Like, they took me in, they started teaching me how to survive. I was game goofy. I didn't know nothing. I'm first generation in these streets. Like, my mom and pops wasn't no gang members, bro. You know what I'm saying? So, and for anybody who comes from that environment, that's huge. Yeah. Like, who your family is matters. You feel what I'm saying? So you move in the early 90s, bro, at the height of gang activity to a gang-infested war zone, and you don't got an uncle, a cousin, your dad's not outside, he's in the house, he's a square, you know what I'm saying? And you come with these church boy ethics, bro, and you getting dropped off in this lion's den. Oh, bro, I was getting robbed, you know what I'm saying? Like I got baptized in fire. You know what I'm saying? Like dudes saw food at first, and that it made me, you know, start feeling like I had to become something different if I wanted to survive. You know, but I had heart, I just didn't have skill. You see what I'm saying? And so homies would see that about me and then be like, oh, okay, well, you know, hey, bro, come ride with me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, lace you up.
And they start lacing me. Yeah. Exactly. And so as much as I don't agree with, you know, a lot of the behaviors and the mindsets in my community and in any community that's perpetuating this stuff, I get it. Sure. You know, because it's just the blind leading the blind, bro. Like I always say it this way. The reason why I felt and feel obligated to go out and to give the hood the gospel is because that's the best that I can give to the hood, right? Because when I was a kid, I feel like the hood gave me the best that it could give me. That's all it had.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It didn't have Jesus.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? But what it did have, the savagery, you know what I'm saying? Just the quickness of being the adaptability. You feel what I'm saying? And stuff like that. Like, that's what it had. You know, like, just I remember what it felt. I remember watching my mom cry because she was stressing out over bills. And I remember the feeling of accomplishment that I got the first time I ran up and robbed somebody's house, bro. And so my mom didn't have to buy me certain things because I just went and stole them. And just feeling like I took pressure off of her. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I get it. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, a lot of what we out here doing to each other is wrong, you know? But a lot of it, you know, it's like in the book of Proverbs, it says, don't count a man as wicked if he steals a loaf of bread to survive.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
It doesn't say that it's right to do it.
Yep.
It says, but you can't really judge a person's heart when they're in survival mode. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a difference. There's a difference between a 14-year-old kid at school selling crack because his mom is strung out and his dad's murdered and he got 4 brothers and sisters that are like, I was going to school with kids who was in these situations. Yeah. And so that we all at school, I might have a weed sack, the homie got this and the homie got that. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, I got 2 parents at home. My homie got nothing. Like, he's the man of the house and he's 13 type of thing. So I'm not looking at him like he's a problem. He's a solution. Yeah. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah. And all this stuff that I was hearing about God and Jesus and all of that, like, bro, that's in that book. That ain't out here.
Right.
He's God in that book. I don't see none of that out here, bro. Yeah. All that power y'all saying he got, where? Yeah. You feel me? How is we going through all of this? How am I feeling how I'm feeling? You tell me, the one that made me love me, why I don't feel it though.
Right.
Because when my homie say he loved me, I feel it. You know what I'm saying? There's a relationship there, like, and it comes with things like, if I love you, I'll do anything for you. If you love me, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like the Satan was able to use gang culture to kind of introduce me to this perverted version of fellowship and family. Wow. That I was longing for so much. You know what I'm saying? And so, like, how could I not be a part of it? Yeah. It was family. It wasn't like, I didn't feel like I was joining a gang. I felt like I was being inducted into a family, bro.
Yeah, you're like, oh, this is great. You know?
Yeah, well, I wasn't born in it. I was sworn in it. Yeah. You know, there's a difference. You know what I'm saying? You know, you got guys that are born in it. You got guys that are sworn. I was sworn in, bro. So to me, even in that, like, some people look at that like they take pride in the fact that they was born in it because they got this lineage and all of this stuff behind them. But I took pride in the fact that, nah, bro, like, I chose this. You know what I'm saying? So for me, like, ain't nobody older than me pressure me. Like, my daddy wasn't out here, so I feel like I got to live up to his name. You know what I'm saying? Because let's be real, like, how many OGs, you know, you got, but they children is punks. And the only reason they even out here still is because of what daddy used to do. You know what I'm saying? Or who mama was or whatever. You feel me? So for me, not having those protective umbrellas and being able to kind of like survive and then begin to thrive within my peer group. You know, I was never the most famous nothing. I was never the biggest G. I was never none of that, bro. I was just a loyal soldier, and I was about my homies, man, and whatever they needed me for, bro, you can call me, and I ain't tripping. I ain't asking no questions. You know what I'm saying? And that's all I was, bro. I was a pawn and proud to be. You know what I'm saying? I was just glad to be there. You know what I'm saying? And I don't lie about that. Yeah. You feel me? But it's because I didn't know who I was. I didn't know whose I was. You know, when you don't know who made you, bro, if you got no access to your creator and no relationship with your creator, bro, you're just walking around a confused creation.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? And so I ended up, I don't know, like cats used to become blood brothers, when we were kids. You cut each other and you become blood brothers. Well, one of my blood brothers, he ended up dying when I was 13 and he was 16, and that was a really important relationship to me. And so when I took that L, and then it was like, I think there was like 5 of them in the car. He's the only one that died. He was like one of my only homies. I grew up not having friends, finally got some, and now, you know what I'm saying? So I hated God for that one. That messed me up. You know what I'm saying? I took that personal, And so I more kind of started going towards the dark side of things, praying to, instead of praying to God, because I just felt like he would never answer. I tried praying to Satan. Like, okay, let me see what the other side rocking with. Like, let me see what that's about. Because everything they say he's about is what all I see when I walk outside my front door.
Yeah.
So he's the one. This is how I was thinking at the time. Like, he's really got the juice out here, bro. Like, he's really the one with the power. Like, why am I praying to a guy who ain't in control of nothing? Because once again, there's a lot of bad theology was being taught to me too. Like things that God was made to seem very small to me. Like when people say that all God does is stand at the door and knock. No, it says he does that. That's not the only way he interacts with mankind, bro. Yes, he does desire for you to do certain things, but he's not a cheerleader on the sideline of a game waving pom-poms trying to encourage you into a situation, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it wasn't until I met the God who could break through all the darkness, all the hurt, all the pain, and show his power to be true. That's when everything changed for me. So when I was about 17 years old, I'm dealing with all of his manic depression and PTSD and all of these things, and I'm just torn with the torment of having to live 2 lives. In the street, I'm living one way, but when I come home, I got to clean up my act. You know what I'm saying? When all the other homies are free to do whatever they do, but I'm the one who's I got to change my clothes because I smell like weeds. You know what I'm saying? So I'm on my way home. I got my stash spot with my clean jacket, and I'm taking orange peelings off the neighbor's tree and rubbing them on my hands. So I know I smell like weed and oranges. You know what I'm saying? But just but when you gotta live like that, bro, it messes you up. Like, who are you? Yeah. You know, come on, I don't know who I am. I don't know what I'm supposed to be. I'm trying to please everybody, man. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And I know I'm falling short because I'm never as hood as the hoodlums because they really from here. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, it took me a long time to smell like that. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? It took a lot of practice. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? To be what a lot of these dudes was naturally, because they just came up in it in a whole nother level, in a whole different way. And then having to come home and always looking at the disappointment in your parents' face. You could just see it when they look at you like, man, this kid is...
So then you come home and you're met with shame.
Yeah. And I don't blame them. Like, bro, they had standards.
No, sure.
You know what I'm saying? And I was going the way of evil. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And the fact that they weren't cool with it, and the fact they at times had something to say about it, and tried to hold me accountable to righteous standards within their household.
Understandable,
that, bro. You know what I'm saying?
But you took it and you translate it, and it gets twisted, and it's like...
I personalized it.
Yes.
Yeah. I made it about me, and that I was talking to some brothers the other day that I think that's the biggest difference between me then and me now. Is then I thought life was about me. Now I realize life is about Christ. It is to be lived unto Him. Come on. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. And that fundamental misunderstanding, when you think all this is about you, then you take everything way too personal. You know what I'm saying? And it's crazy because Jesus addresses this issue when he tells his disciples, like, look, bro, what you about to go through and it's because of me. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like when they treat you a certain way, no, they did it to me first.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? You're only getting this energy because you look like me. You see what I'm saying? And so, you know, it took me a while to get there, but when I finally understood that, you know, it lifted a lot of weight and burden and hurt and bitterness, man, off of me. But about 17 years old, I mean, by this time, I mean, I done already did my thing. You know what I'm saying? I done already, you know what I'm saying? And so, I had a conversation with my pops that, look, bro, like, because we still have to go to church and stuff sometimes. And I was like, look, bro, I'm not doing this. You know what I'm saying? So I get it. I respect it. This is y'all thing. This is y'all movement. I've already chose up. Like you see the red Dickie suits, like, you know what's happening, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? You done caught me grinding out the house. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got a gun in my bedroom. Like, come on, bro. You know, so it's kind of like, look, out of respect, like, I'm not gonna try to bring nothing here, but that identity, that Christian thing, I denounce that. Like, I'm not with Christ. Y'all are. I'm not. You know what I'm saying? I'm with what's going on outside. You feel me? And I'll never forget. And my pops was a hard case at times, bro. You know, like, too much sometimes. But I'll never forget his response as he said, well, son. And by this time, they had already kind of been on some, like, okay, this kid he's out there. So we just got to give him up to God, because there's nothing we can do anymore. You know what I'm saying? They have already, him and my mom had already kind of had that meeting, you know? And so it was kind of, I started getting rules like, look, bro, just if you don't come home at 12, don't come home at all. So the homies I'm high and drunk at the homie house, and they waking me up for school. Like, hey, bro, you know what I'm saying? Come on, you know? I'm like, oh, dang, all right, for sure, you know, school day, you know? So, by this time, I'm already outside and everything, but my pops was just like, look, dude, under this roof, Christ governs this. You know what I'm saying? So, but I respect your right to choose your God. You know what I'm saying? Just know, though, that because you are choosing another God, there'll be times when we have conflict. But I love you. And I was just like, I wasn't expecting that. You know, I was expecting a lot more, like, what? You know, because you got to understand, my pops at the time, like, he's like a reverend. He done been to school. He got a master's degree in, I think, theology or something like that. Like, my mom and pops eat, sleep, and breathe church at this time. So for your oldest, and then back then, especially, like, the family name was a big conversation. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, you my firstborn. Like, you carrying the family name. So for the one who's carrying on the family name to come to you after you done worked his whole life to provide, like, bro, we wasn't poor. You know what I'm saying? There was a season of life when we were in poverty for sure, but they grinded us up out of that. You know what I'm saying? I had a nicer house, you know, in high school. We had a 2-story house. It was a pool in the backyard. Like, you know what I'm saying? The homies just didn't want to come kick it at my house because my house had the Christian parents. So you couldn't do nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, we started off grimy, but they, by God's grace, God was blessing the fruit of their labor, bro. Yeah. And so with those blessings, I'm reaping them, but I'm a spoiled kid at this point. Yeah. Like, I don't see that for what it is. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I'm just getting more entitled. Right. So imagine, like, you know, I got children now, and I see it in them. You know, like, dang, that's how and when I get on them about it, I realize, like, dang, that's how I made them feel. Like, this is payback like a mug right now. You know what I'm saying? But it's just like, dang, man, I can't, I'm like, my son, you know, he's 11 years old right now. Like, bro, and I do anything for him. Like, I work hard for him, you know, and of course my daughters too, but, you know, he's my firstborn, he's my son. Yeah. So it's a different relationship. And there's things I expect of him as my firstborn son. You know what I'm saying? And if he would have come to me and be like, hey, man, F God. Like, I'm going to take everything you've invested in me and go give it to Satan. Like, now I know what the right response would be. Because I have an example, because that's exactly what I did to my father. And he didn't go upside my head. We probably wouldn't be speaking to this day if he had gotten me foul in that conversation. You know what I'm saying?
Wow, that's good.
But he set the stage, just like how John the Baptist was out there paving the way. You know what I'm saying? My partner, he didn't even know what was about to happen. He set the stage in that conversation for what God was about to do later on that night. Right? Because when he told me he loved me anyway, even after I'm making a conscious decision to completely violate everything you've tried to instill in me, bro, and put you in it, because I wasn't one of these dudes who signed up to live. I was the kid who signed up to die. You know what I'm saying? I was the kid, and I'm not saying this because it wasn't because I was hard. It was because in a lot of cases I was sad. So I didn't care. Like, I don't care if I make it home. You know what I'm saying? I'm not tough. I don't care about life. You see what I'm saying? So I was the kid in certain situations that you'd be like, hey, man, don't bring him because he don't care. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll spit, you pull a pistol, I'm going to spit in your face and dare you to do it. Like, I was that way. You know what I'm saying? I understand that I was suicidal. Not just self-inflicted, but like I wanted the streets to kill me. You know what I'm saying? And so with all of that in me, bro, and now I'm coming to my pops with this, and he's telling me, I love you. Now, mind you, bro, I don't know God. So I don't know that that's God. Like what he's able to do right now, he got that from God. Because that's not earthly. That's not an earthly response. That's not human nature. You know what I'm saying? When somebody's disrespecting you this way and making the choice that I'm telling you that I'm going to be a gang member, a career gang member. Don't associate me with Christianity ever again. I've made my choice. So out of respect, let me just do me. And I told him, if that means that I got to leave the house, I respect that because I know this is how it is, right? But I knew that what I'm telling him means you're about to bury me. You and my mother are going to bury me, bro. That's what I'm about to do to you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And his response is, well, I love you.
And his response is not, bro, what are you talking about? All we've done. He didn't, none of that. He said, son, I love you, but just know I don't condone it. And this house is God's house. And so, yes, we're going to have conflict, but just know, even the conflict is because I love you. You know what I'm saying? And, bro, I remember I walked to my room and was up that night, bro. And I was just tormented, bro, going through it. You know, I used to have these episodes where like you could feel something just come over you. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know if it was demonic possession or whatever. I ain't really into a lot of that stuff. Like, I know it occurs, but I don't blame everything on that. You know what I'm saying? But from the things I used to mess with in terms of like witchcraft and praying to Satan and really asking for demons to enter me as a little kid, like I could have opened doorways to things because stuff that would happen to me emotionally and mentally, it was like a switch would flip. And I would almost feel like I become a different type of person. You know what I'm saying? And I remember that had happened. I had like one of those little episodes of darkness, bro, in my room that night. And I remember I had my gun and I'm messing with it, bro. And I'm just playing with the idea like, I should just go to hell and get this over with, man. Because all I'm doing is just hurting everybody and letting everybody down. You know what I'm saying? And I know this is coming. And I don't want one of these weirdos to do it. You feel me? Like, I start thinking like that. Like, bro, I don't want to get killed by a police officer. I don't want to get killed by a Crip. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, I'm gonna go out. I want to do it, type of thing. And so I remember I'm like praying, I'm putting it to my head and then I'm putting it down and then boom, boom. And bro, I'm saying, help me. But I'm not talking to God consciously because I don't think he will. I'm just saying it. Like, man, help me, man. Help me. Boom, boom. And bro, no lie. I'm sitting here, I'm pressing the pistol to my head and bruh, I just feel this presence on me. Wave over me, bro. And I'm talking about it took every bit of darkness that was in my mind and in my heart out of me. Like, it was like it just got washed away. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? To where I felt like love. I felt like I was loved. Wow. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I felt like I was accepted. I felt like I was enough. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, it was crazy, homie. And I never felt so. It meant so much to me. Yeah. That feeling, because it's what I've been wanting my whole. It's what I've been chasing. Yeah. You know, every time I did something evil for somebody else, that's what I hoped the outcome would have been. Is this feeling? You know what I'm saying? And so, bro, and this is the dope part of it though. And that feeling was personal, and I knew who it was. It came with knowledge. Like, it wasn't just a feeling. Like, the Holy Spirit, I don't believe he's not a force. No. He's a person. And I can say I met him. You know what I'm saying? I met him in person. Yes. You know what I'm saying? Yes. And was introduced to God, bro, on a personal level. And there was just a knowledge that came with it. That's good. I love you. You know what I'm saying? I'm here for you. And I can't, I kind of wish, weirdly, sometimes I wish it happened differently, because you want to be able to kind of like tell people, like when Jesus healed the blind man, like, hey man, or the leper, like, hey, go and wash 7 times in the River Jordan. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I want to give you a formula, you know, and this, bro, it wasn't no formula I can give. Yeah. You know, I think the formula was, if there was one, I was honest and I was willing. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't rebelling against the true and living God, in the sense that I did not know him yet. Mm-hmm. I was rebelling against the, what would be the word I would want to use for that, man? The misrepresentation of him. Yeah. Like when the Lord told Israel, my name is blasphemed among the nations because of you. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Not because I show up, because you show up and misrepresent me. Wow. That's why they out here getting at me like that. You see what I'm saying? Like, so, and even Paul, you know, after his conversion, he makes the statement that he knows that God had the grace and mercy upon him that he had, because Paul was doing all that he was doing in ignorance. Mm-hmm. Right? Yeah, he was killing Christians, but he thought he was doing a service unto God. Mm-hmm. So based on the information that he had, he was trying to please God. He just didn't know what pleased God. You see what I'm saying? And bro, there's a lot of people out here in that situation, you know? And I'm not saying like, no, it doesn't make it right. Yeah. You feel what I'm saying? Like when Jesus hung and he said, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. Bro, everybody was aware that a man was being crucified. They knew that was happening. They didn't understand the implications of who they were crucifying, bro. They didn't know him. Yeah. They didn't recognize him for who he was. They didn't know that they were putting the Messiah on the cross. Mm-hmm. As far as they knew, this is a false prophet. And this is what we're supposed to do. This is what we're supposed to do. All the religious leaders. To honor Yahweh. We're supposed to get rid of this dude. You know what I'm saying? Because he's trying to take us from God. And you know, now you did have your dudes who knew, and Christ threatened their position. And so, you know, but they used the ignorance of the majority to get that accomplished. Mm-hmm. You feel what I'm saying? And so for me, bro, I really believe that if there was a formula from my end, it was that's where I was at, bro. Like, I knew God existed. I believed he hated me. So what else was I going to do? not gonna waste his time. Like, bro, it's like trying to get with a chick who genuinely don't like you. Like, bruh, save yourself the embarrassment, homie. You know what I'm saying? Like, this ain't gonna work. You feel me? Like, that's kind of how I looked at God. Like it. There's nothing I can do to live up to your standards. So this is a fool's errand, man. Like, I'm chasing the wind with you. So I mean, at least I could have some success out here.
Right.
At least I could be something out here. You know what I'm saying? Where the standards are lower. You feel me? And so, man, when I felt that feeling, bro, it changed me. It changed me, man. You know what I'm saying? I remember, I tell it like it's a joke, but it's facts. Because I was in high school at the time, and I was going to school. I went to school on Friday with a gun, and on Monday, I was at school with a Bible. Because this happened over the weekend. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And was serious about it. Like, serious, bro. Like, walk in, I'll toss the Bible down on the table at lunchtime and be like, yo, anybody sitting at this table with me, bro? Come on, let's get it in. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And homies was like, what the? But you got to remember, they knew I grew up in the church. Yeah. So it was kind of like, uh-oh, he's turning into one of them, you know what I'm saying, type of things. And I get it. You know what I'm saying? I think that it wasn't until life started happening and I was different from within. Like, things that would occur where people kind of knew I would be one way, and now they're seeing like, no, bro, really is. He's taking this thing serious. Like, he didn't get this from his dad. He didn't get this from his mama. Like, he been raised with them his whole life. Like, that ain't it. Ain't like, he, something happened. And so, brothers started getting curious about it because I was still outside. I didn't go inside. My homies didn't get born again with me. Like, the hood didn't come to Christ. I just did. So at least they respected the fact that, like, I was acting funny with them in the sense that there were certain things I wasn't willing to do no more, but I'm still out here and I'm still for you. It's just in a different way. You know what I'm saying? And I still ride for you. The conditions just gotta be right. You feel what I'm saying, in a sense? And so, after taking a lot of persecution and abuse early, just social stuff, you know what I'm saying? Just people kind of distancing themselves from you, or, whatever the case may be. Then it started when life is hitting all the homies and they situations is getting real. Then they start tapping in like, hey, bro, let me holler at you, man. Like, what's this thing about? You feel me? Because I think for a lot of us, bro, I know me, like, I started, my gang bang career was very short, because I met Christ at a young age. And so a lot of the hatred and the malice and all of that stuff, like, he dealt with that, so I couldn't really, like, I was a gang member much longer than I was a gang banger, if that makes sense. Like, and you know what I'm talking about, right? So you could get me to gangbang at 13, 14, 15, 16 years old, for sure. You know what I'm saying? But after meeting Christ and my heart starting to change, it wasn't really that no more. It's like, well, what's the situation, bro? Like, let's try to work this out differently, homie. You know what I'm saying? Because this is going to cost a lot of people a lot right now. I became more, I hate to use the word political, but, politics are important, man. Like, you need those things to accomplish peace. Yeah. A lot of times, unless you're just gonna kill everybody and be the last one left. Yeah. So I think that at that really, like, younger phase of my life, I like the cage stage, and just like any new believer, like, you just super radical and militant about it, and then after going through things and then pouring into brothers and then them seeing me struggle and go through things, it kind of brought me to a place of humility, and like the self-righteousness kind of got washed out of me, and it just became like, okay, look, man. And then learning more, like, I'm reading the Bible, and now I'm seeing, wait a minute. Oh, you way different than what they said. Yeah. Oh, all this stuff I hated, you hate it too. You know what I'm saying? Yep. Because, like, I started, I think I was 12 or 13 gang affiliated. You know, late 12, early 13, like around that age, right? One of my first experiences is I was with some homies, you know what I'm saying? I was with some other blood cats. They weren't from my neighborhood, but they was from the closest neighborhood to, like I said, I lived in a Crip hood. So the closest neighborhood, right? And I ain't gonna speak on because I don't want to embarrass nobody, but they didn't run the program right. Like we got pressed and I was the only one who was with the business. They literally ran and left me. And what saved my life, because it was a serious situation, you know what I'm saying? The homie, you know, the other dude had whipped out on me and they was trying to make me, I had an all red suit. I don't know if you remember the swishy pants. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I had these all red swishy pants. And bro was literally like whipped out, like, hey bro, strip. Like you got to take that off. And I was like, oh no, kill me. Mm. You know what I'm saying? That can't happen. Yeah. And I mean, and I was only 13. I think dude was like 20. You know what I'm saying? And one of his little homies who was a gunner, but we knew each other from before we became, because you know how it is, like you grow up with cats or you come up and maybe you playing football and you chasing the same girl or whatever. And then everybody at a certain age starts picking sides. Mm-hmm. But you still know this dude. Right. But now he's from the other side, so y'all can't kick it no more or whatever. Mm-hmm. But there's still like mutual, unless something real happens and then now it's just on. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So he had love for me. So he stood in front of his homie, his big homie, and violated and was like, hey, man, I know him. Like he just looked out for me with some dudes, was pressing me. So give him a pass. And by God's grace, they did. But they laughing. And I'm not knowing why. And they like, man, go get your homies. And I turn around and all I see is back and feet. Because
they're running.
My so-called brothers left me for dead. Mm. So, you know, we get back to the spot, deal with it, take flags off dudes and tell them, you know, that you can't be that around me anymore. Because you're not really that. You know what I'm saying? But it taught me a very valuable lesson. I knew from that point on that my life in these streets was not going to boil down to what happens between red and blue. Mm-hmm. It's going to end up being over real and fake, bro. And God let me go through that. Like I'm talking about, bro, I was weeks in. You know what I'm saying? That was like, I immediately realized this ain't what it's cracked up to be. Mm-hmm. These so-called fellowships ain't always solid, and your enemy could be your best friend, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like I got taught that so fast, bro, and I always kept that in the back of my mind. You know what I'm saying? And so I say that to say that one thing I know for 10 facts, bro, is that in these streets, you have so many dudes who recognize how fake this culture really is. But because we don't know that there's any other alternative, we determine within ourselves that, okay, I know this ain't real, but I'm going to be real about it. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And we kind of doom ourselves to wedlock to something. It's like, bro, being married to somebody who ain't married to you. Yeah. Mm. You feel me? Yeah. That's what... Honestly, that's what gangbanging is you're marrying something that is not married to you, bro.
Yep. You're disposable.
Exactly. And, but if you don't believe that there's any faithful women, then you'll marry a hoe. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And try to make her something better. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we're doing. We're out here, bro. The streets, the street culture, it's just this one big whore out here. You know what I'm saying? And we're all trying to make her something she'll never be. Right. And she don't want to be. Right. She's in it to get over on you. You know what I'm saying? You are the commodity. Like, you are the product. You feel me? You're not the hustler, bro. You're the product out here. And so my mission, if I can sum it up, is my mission now is to introduce whoever I can through Christ and through an experience with Christ that puts them in touch, tangible contact, bro, with the real version of what they've been out here chasing. You know what I'm saying? After. And the real authentic love, like we're looking for perfect love in imperfect people, in imperfect institutions, in imperfect environments. But we were created to receive a perfect love. That's why the longing is there. That's why nothing else fulfills it. Yeah. Because we were made to fundamentally need something, but it's not of this world. You're not going to find it out here. That's why you can run to any, bro, I've done it all. You know what I'm saying? I've done it all, bro. I've been up, I've been down. You know what I'm saying? I've been free, I've been locked up. I've been sober. I've overdosed and died. Like, bro, I've experienced all that this comes with, man. And it was smoke, vapor, vanity. It was nothing. You know what I'm saying? And the only thing real and the only thing that really has transformed me, bro, and has lasted and stood the test of time is my relationship with Christ. But I must say this, though, and those who are in Christ will understand when I say this, his relationship with me, because my relationship with him has not been perfect. His relationship with me, bro.
Come on, bro.
Is perfect.
Yeah, that makes me want to cry. Yeah, he's the faithful one.
And so, you know, it breaks my heart when I see people run so violently from the very thing that they chasing. Like it's insanity what sin is doing to us, man. You know what I'm saying? But when you deaf, dumb, and blind, you know, and our pride convinces us otherwise. Your pride tells you can see, but you can't see nothing, man. You know what I'm saying? You ain't seen nothing yet. You know, your pride tells you that you're good. Yeah. But you're not good. If you was good, why do you ever do anything wrong? Like, when is good evil? It's not. So if we out here doing evil, to whatever degree, whether it's big or small, we can't fundamentally be good. Like that's why you tell anybody, okay, you good? Then never do anything bad again. And they'll look at you like, man, you crazy. Like even you, okay, so you're not good then. Like you, that's an admission of guilt right there. Like when you tell me that's impossible, but if you were good, it shouldn't be. It actually should be the only thing that you produce is righteousness. If you're good, you're not good. I'm not good, bro. He's good. And unless I'm tapped into him, I got nothing to offer anybody. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So once I went through that experience and I got involved with it, I didn't start a street ministry, bro. I just started pushing the line. You know what I'm saying? Like I was already something and I pushed the line for that. So then when I got touched by the Holy Spirit, recognized truth, was given new identity, and now a even greater boldness, you know what I'm saying? Because now I know that what I'm doing is right. Like I knew the streets was wrong. I just had accepted the wrong. You feel what I'm saying? But now for this, like, no, this is right. Like this is something I want my son to be. I wouldn't say that as no gang member. Now, if he chooses that, I probably, I would have tried to lace his boots and just help him survive and do it the right way. So you ain't out here giving us all a bad name and you're ending up, you know what I'm saying, in somebody's trunk. But if I had a choice, I wouldn't want him to do that. That wouldn't be the first choice for my child. This right here, like that's what Christ has given us, bro. He's given us the opportunity to be something that we can be proud of teaching to our children and showing them, bro. We can be proud of it. Yes. Not feel like it, well, hey, this is just, you got to do what you got to do. Like, nah, bro. We ain't no victims in the kingdom, homie. We like, he's overcome. And so in him, we are overcomers. Apart from him, all we can be is victimized. But in him, nah, bro, we good. You know what I'm saying? And so just trying to introduce people to that Because I tell my homies all the time, bro, like, if you're going to reject him, just give me a moment. Give me some time to introduce you to the real him, right? So, now, if you want to reject that, that's between you and him. I just know what you think he is, he's not, bro.
And why? Why do you think people have that idea?
Well, because he's being misrepresented, and so on twofold, right? Yeah. He's being misrepresented by a lot of people who are doing things in his name that he ain't got nothing to do with.
How so?
Whether through false religion, bad teaching, you know what I'm saying? Where you have, in the church today, you got a lot of just the agendas aren't necessarily what Christ's agenda was. Yep. The things that Jesus prioritized are the things that we do the least of. Like you feel what I'm saying? I mean, bro, what he called true religion, feeding the poor, taking care of the widows, taking care of the people that are in prison. You feel me? And I mean, all of that. Yes. You dig what I'm saying? Going into the world, a lost and dying world with the light, piercing the darkness with his light. You know what I'm saying? Yep. And trusting that and not, stop trying to make it big.
Come on, bro. Yes.
He's big enough. Like he's big enough. Right?
On.
So that ain't on you. And a lot of times I believe that we don't do, especially in American culture, like we feel like if what we doing ain't gonna be a spectacle, then it's not worth doing. But that's just because, we got this Hollywood culture, bro. Like America's the only nation in the world that produces mega stars. Think about that. There's no other nation on planet Earth, bro, that if you're famous in that country, you're famous everywhere. Yeah. Only America produces that. Wow. Only in America, bro. If you are famous here, you famous everywhere. You know what I'm saying? But you got some of the biggest stars in some of these other countries. You wouldn't even know who they are. You feel what I'm saying? Because everybody's watching the throne. And as far as earthly throne and wickedness and evil and being a beacon of light for Satan's kingdom, America has that seat right now. We're Babylon right now. You dig what I'm saying? And so, but it's the church's responsibility to pray for the destruction of Babylon, not fund its growth.
Say it, bro. Say it.
You know what I'm saying? I try to speak. I ain't scared to say nothing. I just try to speak intelligently. I don't want to speak emotionally. You know what I'm saying? And it's not even so much that. It's just you got to be careful with the way that you word things, because like I really want people to get it. Right. I don't want to sit here and vent.
No,
you know what I'm saying?
We don't want to lose people. We also don't want people to think like, if we're talking about the church and America and stuff, I don't want people to think that like we're going at God's bride like that.
No, bro, we
love his bride, bro.
This is in protection of the bride.
Amen. Exactly.
I give an analogy. I won't say I give it. It was given to me, I believe, by the Holy Spirit, bro. Like you got these twin sisters, right? One's the bride and one's the whore. Right. Feel me? Yeah. And the only way you really gonna know the difference is if you kind of in relationship with them. Like you ever met twins? Like if you don't know them, you sit and you think they identical, right? So you can't tell the one apart from the other. But if you have relationship with them, you notice the differences. And then they become like so clear that you can see that these are two totally different people. You know what I'm saying? As much as to an outsider, that's so-and-so. Like, no, that's the wrong one. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like, first of all, I will say this. I believe there is a mass majority of Christians I'll say, we'll keep it in America for now, right? That haven't ever even really seen church before. As it was designed by Christ to be. Yes. You know what I'm saying? Because the building that we meet at is not what the church is in essence, right? So you can go to the meeting place, but not be in relationship with those meeting. Wow. You see what I'm saying? Right. Just like I could bring you to my hood, you ain't from the hood. Right. You know what I'm saying? Fair. So it's kind of like, I think you have a lot of people who are still, for many reasons, some it's ignorance. A lot of it too is, bro, when the deeper you go in this, the more you gotta go. Like only Christ can remain at the deeper you go. It's like, you know what I'm saying? Like the more further I go into Christ, the more it's like, oh dang, like I'm in the way of moving forward at this point. So I gotta die. You know what I'm saying? So we can, you know what I'm saying? And so I feel like you got a lot of people who don't want no parts of that. You know, people aren't going to church to die. In most cases, you know, I don't want to take anything. There's a lot of genuine people too, you know, but I think in most cases, but it's also not being presented to them that way. Right. You know, in the early church, a life in Christ came with immense loss, immense suffering, immense persecution, to where like there was a degree of confidence you could have, especially in specific situations, to where, bro, only somebody really touched by the Holy Spirit is signing up for this at this point because of what this costs. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But now, bro, I mean, you got, and it may not be true. This is just what I heard yesterday talking to a minister. He was saying that I guess some new study recently showed that one of the most popular jobs to pursue nowadays is a pastor because of how much money you can make as a pastor these days because of social media and monetizing and all of these different things. You know what I'm saying? So it's become, yeah, you know, because in doing the survey, when they're asking people their motivation, it's salary. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, salary. It's a salary-based motivation. And I remember, I won't say the name of the gospel artist that I was on tour with at the time, because after, you know, giving my life to Christ, I was able to get involved in Christian rap music and stuff like that. And God gave me, you know, a humble measure of success in that. So while I was out on tour, I remember moving around with this brother. And at the end of the night, bro, we had did a concert. And, you know, we preached the gospel. We was baptizing people. It was dope, you know. But at the end of the night, we'll go back to the hotel room, nice hotel. And, you know, counting money that we made at the merch table and I remember sitting there. And it's not that anything's wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got to feed our families, bro, you know. But I just remember telling him, this is dangerous, dude. And he was like, what you mean? I said, bro, we're getting famous and paid for what people all over the world are getting tortured and killed for.
Oh my goodness.
And we're going to stand in judgment with these people. Like, they're going to be in the line and we're going to be in the line. And they're going to offer up their sacrifice to God as that love, that fragrance, bro. And what's ours? Like, it doesn't like these dudes who, once again, you have, okay, let me say this. I've been in this for 25 years. Yeah. So what I'm about to say, I have the right to say. Okay. You see what I'm saying? I have in the CHH world, you don't know us for nothing but street ministry in most cases, right? So what I'm about to say, I've earned the right to say this, right? I came in, and this ain't some old dude talking trash about the new generation. It's just facts. When I came into this, there was no social media. There was no internet. You could not lie about street ministry. You feel me? Like, you actually had to go outside and deal with people if you was going to reach that world. You couldn't do it from the phone. You couldn't do it from the keyboard. You had to really go outside and put yourself at risk, put yourself in danger. And the reason why there was so few street ministers back then is because it's so dangerous. And no one wanted that smoke. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And so nowadays, bro, like, it doesn't impress me a lot of the dudes that are in it now, because it's like, well, yeah, of course you are. You're getting rich. You know You know what I'm saying? Like you're getting rich and you was a nobody before Christ. Now, bro, you getting more glory than is healthy for any man to get. And I was in that same position. So I'm not sitting here trying to take myself out of it. Like I was the same way. You feel me? Like, bro, ain't no high like being on a stage with thousands of people rocking with you, bro. And getting off and everyone telling you the best they've ever seen, dopest they've ever heard, you changed their life. And I don't care how much you sit here and you try to, oh, you know, it's not me. You hear, and eventually, just like, bro, you sit in a bathtub long enough, you get all wrinkled out. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? How hard you want to stay dry. You're in the water and the body biologically responds to water in a specific way over time, right? It's the same thing, bro. Like there's a measure of glory that humans were never meant to get, I don't believe.
I agree.
And what technology is allowing us to experience right now, bro, is so dangerous to who we are called to be, how we're called to be, the focus and concentration and priorities that we're supposed to have. Yeah. These things serve to pervert that to such an immense degree. You know what I'm saying? But it's just like the frog that kind of like, you know, you turn up the water a degree at a time until he just falls asleep and is boiled before he knows that, you know what I'm saying? Like we're at this slow boil. We're being distilled in a sense. Like you don't come in and immediately things affect you. You come in and you humble and you this and you that, but then over time it's just like, yo, who am I, man? Like I remember, you know. So I know later on, like in my ministry or career, whatever you want to call it, like I started having to set rules. Like, okay, we're not charging for shows, bro. That's if you ask me, that's a sin. To tell someone they have to pay to come into a door to hear about Jesus, bro, get your money some other way, homie. You know what I'm saying? Like there's better ways of doing it. We're
at the end of the day, it's
weird. Bro.
Yeah.
Like that's a bit too much. You know, like I get it. If you want to have certain things set up to do your side hustle and get your money on the side, you want to sell your shirts, your CDs, cool. Those are products, bro. But the gospel should not be a product anyone's paying to hear. You see what I'm saying? Not from the church. From these false prophets that's selling snake oil, have at it, bro. They gonna get their reward in flames. You see what I'm saying? But for us, like we gotta stop with this part. Like everything can't be monetized. Everything can't be commercialized. Everything cannot become a product, bro. You know, and if we were to look at, like, bro, could you imagine reading the word and it's talking about Peter selling tickets at the synagogue to like we would look at that and be like, what the heck? Right. Yeah. But we take it for granted, bro. That's what we out here doing on a regular basis. This has become such an industry. You know that I believe that the gospel industry is killing the gospel. Not in its effect and in its power, but in its ability to be distributed freely to mass groups of people, because we all trying to figure out how to make it profitable.
Well, it's way up there, bro. It's way up there. It's a famous thing. It's all this stuff. People on pedestals and platforms. And then also when that's your focus and that's the perspective of how we do this life of ministry, it's exactly what you said earlier. We're actually not doing real life ministry with what the word says. Yeah. Pure and undefiled religion. Yeah. You know, being unstained from the world and caring for the widow and orphan. Bazooka and I were talking earlier in Isaiah when he's talking about returning to looking at those who have been orphaned and fatherless. Returning to this.
And how God was disgusted with their fasting. Because it was like, bro, your fast
you got all your abomination unto me. Yeah. Because you're not at peace with me.
Exactly. Yeah. And you not and you okay, so what if you don't eat? You're not feeding nobody. So what's the purpose? Yeah. Like, okay, you starve yourself while you watch another man starve. Like, that's not my heart for people. That's not who I am. So don't feel spiritual when you're doing this. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And so, no, I agree, bro. And I'm still, even to this day, like because I don't make music no more. I don't tour no more. You know, God's got me on something different right now, just personally. Amen. Like I've been through a lot. You know what I'm saying? I've been through a lot in the streets. I've been through a lot in the church, and I never healed, bro. I was since I was 18 years old, got my first record deal, and I've been gunning, bro, till I was like 39. You know what I'm saying? And so no rest, you know. And so I needed a break. I needed a Sabbath. And I wasn't being obedient to those fundamental commands of God. I wasn't resting. I wasn't taking vacations. I felt I was buying into the hype that I was people's answer. You know what I'm saying?
When you need to go to the mountain to be with your father.
When nah, bro, God got you. You don't need me. You need the Lord.
Come on,
you know
somebody.
what I'm saying? Well, I can't give you nothing I ain't got. You feel what I'm saying? And so, and so there was just a lot of pride and self-righteousness that had crept into my heart over the years, and I started seeing it. I didn't really know what to do about it, you know. So I just started fasting and praying a lot as I was continuing to try to be about the Father's business, but just always telling God, like, man, whatever you want to do, to kind of, if you want to shut this down, you know. And so, I mean, I ended up stepping away at the height of my career. I wasn't some old rapper that fell off. You know, I was doing more numbers than I ever had. I was making more money than I ever had, you know, and it just literally, like, overnight, I don't do it no more, you know, type of thing. And it's been the greatest relationship with God building decision that I've ever made. And since then, I've been through hell. You know what I'm saying? Like, bruh, hell. We ain't even gonna talk about it. You know what I'm saying? But there is one, like the Son of Man, who has been in the fire with me, bro. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, I've been through lesser situations and it almost ruined me. And now that I'm walking with him and in the way that I am now, bro, like, I can't believe how chilling I am. I can't believe the peace that I have, bro. And the confidence, not in me. And not even that everything's going to work out the way I want it to. The confidence that no matter what is about to happen to me, no matter what condition or situation, you know what I'm saying, I'm about to face, bro, like, I'm going to be all right, man, because he's got me. Yeah. You know? Yeah. Christians die every day. So I'd be a narcissist to say that nothing bad's going to happen to me because I got Jesus. But no, I will not be destroyed eternally because I got Christ. You know, though my flesh may die, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to live in him forever, bro. And there really ain't nothing out here, you know, that I'm really trying to hold on to like that anyway. You know, when you've had it and you've experienced it, like, you know, when you got dudes who've never had it and they try to speak on it, you know, you never been to the mountaintop like that. You know what I'm saying? You never had a bag, you know, you never did X, Y, and Z. And so they're speaking of these things, but it's from ignorance. It's something different for somebody who either has achieved something or has declined it because of his principles. Because in if you ask me, like, if you offer me something and I tell you no, bro, I got it. I just didn't take it. You know what I'm saying? But I achieved it. I was put in position to accomplish it, but I turned it down. You know what I'm saying? And there's a lot of guys in this CHH world who have been in that situation where we've been brought to the mountaintop. We've literally met Satan at the top of the mountain, had the meeting in the room with the executives, and they're literally talking to you and saying, hey, bro, we can do this, and this. And I ain't even, you know, I ain't talking about like them trying to get you to do some gay stuff, like whatever. That happens to certain people. But I'm just talking about the way that they offer you like a platform and wealth that you know is going to come with a certain measure of influence that'll open up, I mean, pretty much anything to you. But it always comes with this caveat of compromise. And you have a choice to make. You know what I'm saying? And I just thank God that as much as I lived in compromise, as much as I've made mistakes, as much as I found myself, even as a minister, with one foot in, one foot out, bro, when it came down to it and they put God or money or God or fame on the table and said, choose. Oh, bro, I'm rocking with the Lord.
Come on.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'll just take whatever comes with that.
Yep.
You feel me? And I think that we all need to realize those are the big moments that are easily recognizable, you know. But it's kind of like how, as much as we'll all look at Peter for his denial of Christ, well, he did it, but you know what I'm saying? His denial of Christ in that situation, we fail to see the similarity of that behavior in when we just commit sin. Like, that's a denial of him in a sense, you know, because you've claimed he's Lord. Well, then why are you doing your own thing right now? You see what I'm saying? So I think that if more of us would stop focusing so much on the speck in our brother's eye and really address the beam that's in our own, you know, I think that would help solve a lot of the issues that we have in the church right now and just in the body of Christ today, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, Ricky, I want to give you a space though. Is there anything you want to ask right now?
Just, it's God just put on my heart, man. First, glory to God, right?
Hallelujah.
But to your mom and dad who never stopped praying.
Oh yeah, bro. To this day.
To that, they never stopped. They never gave up. And I hope that the parents, that people that are watching this, don't ever give up.
Yeah.
I just can't stop thinking about your mom and dad.
Yeah.
Who
Praise
just,
God.
I almost want to cry.
Yeah.
Because they just kept on and kept on.
Yeah.
And you know what's dope, bro?
I love
And
that.
this is how good God is, right? So, and they put up with it because it wasn't just me. My little brother was off the chain. You know what I'm saying? My sisters made her mistakes, but they've all I know them to be is people of God, bro. Not perfect.
Not perfect.
You know what I'm saying? Not perfect, but faithful. You see what I'm saying? And now God has blessed them to where all of us are serving Christ.
They had their hands raised back.
You know what I'm saying? All of like they get to go to their grave with the peace of knowing that all my children are secure in the Father's hand.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I thank God so much for giving them that. Like he could have took them. Like when I was growing up, almost all my homies were losing their parents. You know, and like. Now it's kind of bittersweet because it's like, dang, I still got to go through that. Like my mom and dad, they together right now. You feel me, to this day, and I'm still gonna have to bury them someday, and that's gonna be rough. You feel me? But he could have took them when they still had those questions in their heart, like when they didn't know. You know, and I don't believe people are looking down from heaven on earth. Like, it wouldn't be heaven if you could see earth. That sucks. You know what I'm saying? Like, this place is horrible, bro. You feel me? But, you know, I don't know how that works. But I'm just saying, like, I just thank God that, and even me, like, I got homies who were terrors. They mom or they dad died in that phase of their life. In some cases, because of the stress that they put them through.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, straight up, bro. You stressed your mama to death. You know what I'm saying? I know homies that will admit to that.
Yeah.
You know, and I salute that because it takes a man to keep it real, you know, about what you've done to people. And so, but now they got born again, but they always like live with that regret. Like, dang, man, I just wish my mom could have seen the man that I am, you know what I'm saying, today, type of thing. And so for me, bro, I'm just like, dang, Lord, like, everybody in Christ has those things that they're just so grateful for. Because we all have different experiences. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, you might be grateful that, you know, maybe you caught a life sentence and the Lord worked it out, bro, to where you could come home with honor.
That was you.
You know what I'm saying? So that, praise God. So that's your thing. You know what I'm saying? Whereas somebody like myself, you know, I've never been to prison. You know, I was a county jail baby. Like, I'd be in county all the time. You know what I'm saying? But by God's, that just wasn't his plan and for his journey for me, you know, for whatever reason. But now the prison time that I've escaped, so grateful. You know what I'm saying, to God for. But your experience and mine is different. So the things that we're grateful for is going to be different. You know what I'm saying? So for me, bro, like, I had a mom and a dad who were together and praying for me. And when they were on their knees in hope and in faith, I was nothing like the man that I am today, bro. I had none of the priorities that I have right now. I was middle finger to Jesus, bro. My mom dropping me off when I'm a little kid, dropping me off with the homies with tears on her face because for all she knows, this is going to be the last day she ever see me alive. You know what I'm saying? I lived like that every day, bro. Heartless towards the pain that I'm putting my parents through. I didn't care. You know what I'm saying? To where now I couldn't imagine making my mama cry, bro. You serious? Yeah, right. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, I'm so grateful to God, bro, for these things that he doesn't owe us and gives us. You know, because my parents weren't perfect parents. And if I had died in these streets, they wouldn't have been able to raise their fist to God like he did something wrong. Bro, your son's out here living in sin, and y'all sinners too. Like, he don't owe. We owe him. You know what I'm saying? Yep. He's the only one that's got it right. Yep. So all glory and all debt is
thanks be to
vertical.
God.
You know what I'm saying? It's owed vertically. You know, it's not owed horizontally. And
there's so much to be thankful for.
Oh, bro. Yeah, man. And I think that's the sad thing is, well, now, you know, we got so many of us are just dealing with, and I have a heart for it, like, you know, just depression and these mental, you know what I'm saying, dysfunctions and stuff that we're all going through. A lot of it is self-inflicted, you know, because of just the things that we're participating in are messing us up, bro. You feel me? And then we're raising children with these messed up things and in these messed up ways. And then they becoming sevenfold sons of Satan and daughters of Satan. And we're just kind of, you know, degrading over time and devolving over time, you know. But I think that it's just so important to me that people understand how much God can heal that, bruh. How much he can take that pain and that resentment and that regret and he can replace it. He's not just going to take it and leave you empty. He's going to give you treasure for your trash. You know what I'm saying? And joy really does come in the morning, bro. You know, like, I don't wake up pissed off needing a bottle at 5 o'clock in the morning. You know what I'm saying?
That's good right there.
Because I know we about to be outside again and anything could happen and my life sucks. You know? Yeah. And so, man, bro. But I just, you know, I know my little bro Bazooka said it, and I'm going to say it too, bro. I really respect. I know we just met, you know, and I respect what you're doing for the kingdom. I respect, bro, your journey and what God is doing in your life, man. I'm proud of you, and just keep at it, bro, and don't get caught up in the nonsense. Don't get caught up in the weeds. Just stay the course, bro. And that what God originally told you and showed you, like, just stay focused on that, man. Because there's nothing small, nothing done for the Lord, nothing truly done for the Lord is small. Amen. You know what I'm saying? These things have eternal effects and eternal implications, bro. Yes. You know what I'm saying? So just
could I ask you one thing?
Yeah.
And I'll try to frame it up so you can see where I'm coming from, but I think you'll get it. But okay, so a little bit back to what we were saying earlier is like Jesus associated with the lowly, right? Jesus associated with the poor. Jesus was at the table with the hood. You know what I'm saying? And so a lot of times, like, you know, people talk about going to reach the poor in certain ways, okay? You know, and we could get all into that, but and being with the poor and stuff. But Jesus didn't have to, go step out of. He chose to step out of and go and be in this place, right? He comes and associates with us and stuff. Mm-hmm. But if what I'm trying to ask, bro, is like the beauty of the ministry that you do, because you've done a lot of ministry, bro, and just life with like your people, your friends. You know what I'm saying? When people come up to me and I drive them through my neighborhood, I took this woman through the neighborhood the other day from an organization, and I was driving her through our neighborhood. I was like, "That's my friend right there. That's my friend right there. That's my friend right there, all strung out on the streets right now." And she was like, "You call people your friends?" She's like, "It's like they're your friends." And I'm like, "They are my friends. Like, these are my friends.
Yeah.
Like, they're my people. I've known these dudes for years." And she's like, "Dang, a lot of times people don't see it that way."
Yeah.
But to me, like, it's so beautiful doing life with the people and stuff, and not having it just be a distant thing that we go do once a year, go do an outreach over in this part of town, pass out some clothes and say, "God bless you, see you at church on Sunday," but not, you know what I mean? But I guess what I'm asking you, bro, I know it's a long-winded setup, but
so like what is some of the beauty that I've seen?
Yeah, just the beauty you've seen of God coming alive and His gospel coming alive, bro.
There's power, man. There's power to change and transform people and wake people up and bring. I mean, you're literally watching somebody be resurrected from death to life, bro.
Yeah.
Like we're always looking for these physical evidences of things, right? And they're there, but to me, those aren't really the most impressive things. Like it's the change of a person's nature that impresses me. Because whatever physical change I see in this person, whatever behavioral change that I see in this person, it has a deeper origin. Like that came from somewhere. He only stopped doing that because something in him that we can't see has changed. You know what I'm saying? And I think that the problem is we don't value that really. That we don't see that to be the most beautiful part. We want the people to look a certain way. Where God enables them to be a certain way. That's totally different. I could dress you up like anything. It don't make you that. You know what I'm saying? So the Lord deals with us at the fundamental core of what we are and who we are. Like, bro, we're all out here lying to ourselves all day long about who we are and what we are. So we're not equipped to do surgery on us. Like, you can't even see properly. You know what I'm saying? To get in there and deal with nothing. You don't have the right vantage point. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's the most beautiful thing that I see in when the church is engaging with people truly. I've always thought this, man, like when the church is done right, it is the most beautiful thing that you will ever see. Yes. When it's done wrong, it is the most wicked, vile, and ugly thing that you're ever going to see. Right. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, and it's the most, exactly, and I'm glad you said it because it's one of the most hurtful things that people, because I think the expectation, like, if you think about it, things hurt the worst the more you expected them to be a different way. Like, those are the things that hurt you the worst, so like, you get with a woman and you thought she was one thing, and then when she's not, that hurts you. You get with somebody and you know what it is, who cares? You know what I'm saying? Well,
but you have this expectation.
Yeah.
And there's something weird about how the whole world, we were talking about this the other day, how the whole, like, at least everyone I know, like when somebody says they come in the name of Jesus and they don't live up to that name, even people who straight up denounce all Christianity boldly and passionately, there's like a disappointment.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying?
But of course there would be.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because, well, first of all, because we're all made in His image and His likeness, and deep within we have knowledge of Him. Yes. Right? So that's there. But then also, if you're in a culture that is aware of who He is as a figure and who He is meant to be, right? Then if you're gonna walk around with His name, it's, it's a very bad, example of this, but it would be like if you had a black man who was coming in the name of Dr. Martin Luther King, but he's pouring up and slapping his girl, and you know what I'm saying? I mean, he's out here rapping about murdering another black man. It's like, bro, okay, the fact you doing that is already too much, but take bro's name off you, homie. Like, he wasn't about none of that. Like, that now you being disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? And so I think that it's that to a degree too. Like, Jesus has the name that is above every name, bro.
Come on.
Like, that's not nothing we give him.
No.
That's what it is.
It's declared.
It's the same thing. Like, we don't make him Lord. No. We acknowledge his lordship.
Yes, sir.
But he is Lord.
Amen.
That's why it's wrong to treat him any other way. If he's not really Lord, then it's not really wrong to not serve him. You know what I'm saying? Because, he's just Lord to you. Yeah. But when he's fundamentally Lord, you know what I'm saying? When that's a fact, not a feeling that we have. That's a fact of who he is. Then acting in any way outside of that truth or not in accordance with that truth becomes sin and rebellion. Right. You see what I'm saying? And so I think that, but that's also why, like, we gotta stop taking issue with the fact that people have such a high expectation for us, bro. And we need to raise our bar for ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Like, we need to chill with that because our standards should be higher as his people. Like, they're not wrong for expecting us to act right.
Yeah, they're not wrong for being like, what the disappointed
or
disgusted.
Exactly, they're not
like,
wrong
I'm
for that.
good. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
We're wrong for taking issue with the fact that the world takes issue with that. Like, the question is why are we not feeling that way about what we doing?
Yeah, right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, if the world is more disgusted about your sin than the church, we got a big problem, bro. You know what I'm saying? And bro, I'm not here to throw stones. I've lived that way. I've been in all kinds of sin and debauchery as a minister, and had God had to put me on my pockets, and I've had to confess and repent and sit down somewhere and all of that, be rebuked. I mean, I've been through the gauntlet, bro, when it comes to this stuff, especially coming in as a kid, because I never had a pastor. I never had a leader or a mentor or anything like that. And I was talented. So the stage was just given to me. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't know nothing from nothing. I didn't have no discipline, no education. And so, bro, I've made every mistake a minister can make, but by God's grace and his mercy, he's woke my game up to the sacredness of this thing. And now on the back end of my journey, bro, I'm just trying to make sure that I don't make the same mistakes. Like, I don't want to be like Moses. You see Moses acting just as irate at the end that he was at the beginning. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And for all that God used him for, we don't really talk about the fact that he's also one of the greatest failed leaders in the Bible, in the sense that not just him, but the entire generation that he represented and oversaw all had to die without getting into that promised land. And the next generation had to be circumcised because they hadn't even led the next generation properly and introduced them to God's law like they should have. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's just, we can't undo what we've done. We're in bad shape. You know what I'm saying? And we've made a lot of mistakes. And we got to stop trying to clean up the past. And we need to start having the conversations about all right, bro, let's stop making excuses. Yes. Let's stop trying to sweep things under the rug. Right. Let's acknowledge where we at for what it is, bro. When you look at him and you look at us, it don't look the same. And that's the goal. Mm-hmm. We're not just here to represent Jesus. We're supposed to reflect him. Mm-hmm. Like they're supposed to be able to see him in us, not just as individuals, but as a unit, as a group. You know what I'm saying? And so if we can't honestly say that that's what's happening, then bro, we need to keep having these conversations and figure out what's the next, you know what I'm saying, move. And I think that the more we humble ourselves, the more we'll be able to get to the desired result. You know what I'm saying? That's what I believe anyway.
I appreciate it, bro. Is there anything else you want to share, bro?
I've been running my mouth. You know what I'm saying?
This is a good time. We're just talking, bro.
Yeah, but
chopping it up.
Like I said, man, I appreciate what you're trying to do, and I just pray that whoever hears, this thing or however many other ones you have done or will do, first of all, I pray the Lord bless your ministry. You know what I'm saying, and I would just really, if you continue at this, I could see something like this becoming successful, very successful, right, in the future. Just do us all a favor and stay humble.
Come on.
And keep the main thing the main thing.
Amen.
Come on.
Because it's easier said than done.
Yes.
When it's time to start negotiating for this idea that, well, if we do it this way, we could reach more people. That's not what you're here to do. No. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's reaching the ones God has called you to reach.
Oh,
yes. None of us were called to reach everybody. No. So we got to stay in our lanes and love our lane. And if your lane got 10 people in it, then love them 10 people, man, and give them everything you got. You know what I'm saying? And as long as you do that, bruh, I think it's going to go really well, and a lot of people are going to be blessed. And it gives people like myself an opportunity to open up and share and even bring healing in some areas. Because we don't, we don't always get to say what we feel like is on our heart, and, sometimes. Yeah. And so, and not because, some people are scared, but I'm saying some of us, it's not for fear. It's just, we're still trying to figure out what's going on. Like, bro, I know for a fact you deal with things that you still trying to figure it out. Like, why do I keep doing that? Yeah. Like, why am I, like, I know what's right to do, but why am I not doing it like easily at this point for all that, you know what I'm saying? Like, I got a homeboy who did 26 years in prison. You know what I'm saying? Came home by God's grace. He was supposed to do life. Came home and will still bounce out on you over some road rage or something. Now he'll catch himself after the fact and be like, "Dang, man, why did I do that?" But it's still like, bro, you ain't had enough of prison. Yeah, we still doing that. Yeah. But I get it, because you catch me on a bad one and you might get the same thing. You know what I'm saying? And so it's just like, it's just a trip, man, how God, like as much as you might think you there, he always show you that enough to see, like, nah, bro, you desperately need me. Yeah. Like, I'm not, I'm not just like a condiment on the table. Like, I'm the sustenance of the food. Like, if you don't partake in me, bro,
you are where I find my being.
Exactly. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, man, appreciate y'all coming all the way out here and talking to myself and the other brothers, man. And whatever we can do to serve what you guys are doing, in ministry, please holler at us, bro, because we all about it, man. And, we make it happen. God will make a way.
Thank you, homie.
Straight up.
Thanks be to God. All right. Thanks be to God.